Cleveland is at Boston tonight, Isaiah's former team, who he gave more than his all to, and he made it very clear he didn't want to leave the Bean. The bad news is he's not playing. IT asked the Celtics to not give him a video tribute tonight, and when the haters came out on Twitter, here's how he responded. Get over myself, huh? Because I'd like to actually play and have my family in the arena. Appreciate the love the city organization will show us. It ain't about me, it's about my family. Ha, you get over yourself, you dumb bleep. So with all that being said, should he play in Boston tonight? I know you'll be at the game.
Well, we know, absolutely. But we know, I believe he should play. I believe if he were going to come back and you had to pick between the two games, because I certainly don't want to jeopardize his health. He's a miniature dynamo. More importantly, I want Isaiah Thomas to get paid. He has been somebody that has been underappreciated throughout his career. He has always been a scoring machine. He always gives you max effort. He doesn't shy away from challenges. He hits big shots. He scores in the fourth quarter. This man deserves his money, and I want him to get it. So what people try to interpret as criticism or whatever the case may be, it's about simply tonight's game. It's your first game back to Boston, man. You know Boston's on the schedule. You know when you showed up last night, the next night was the Boston Celtics. You don't sit up there and play against Portland and don't show up for a nationally televised game against a team that you were an MVP candidate for, averaging 28.9 points per game last year before Danny Ainge decided to trade you. And it has been on the record and highly publicized how offended you were by being moved by Danny Ainge, because obviously Danny Ainge gave you the impression that you were going to be there and then apparently rescinded, whatever you want to make of that. The point is that when you think Isaiah Thomas, you think two things. You think about him in Cleveland, and you think about what he was in Boston. And I love me some Damian Lillard. He's a bad brother. But I don't care about seeing Isaiah Thomas against Portland. I want to see him against Boston on national television. Now, if you don't think you're going to be ready because Kyrie is on the other end, I can understand, okay? But I don't believe that to be the case.
Then don't play Tuesday.
I don't believe that to be the case with Isaiah Thomas, because I believe Isaiah Thomas is a stud. I don't think he's scared of anybody, and I think he's ready to compete. So my point is, if you're going to compete, you could have sat out last night and came to Boston tonight. And as it pertains to the whole ceremony, because that's what we teased it with, Max Kellerman, let me say this. Whether you play or not is irrelevant in terms of the celebration. The celebration or the honoring of you was based on your years of service to that particular organization. That organization is the same organization that Isaiah Thomas said was first class when everything happened with his sister. And God bless him and his family, and we wish them nothing but the best. God knows it's tough to lose a loved one. But you also have to take into consideration the fact that that fan base in Boston loved this man. Brad Stevens loved this man. Those teammates loved this man. Whatever your beef is with, you could talk all of this stuff about your family all you want to. Listen, your family could have elected to come there or whatever the case may be. You knew it was on the schedule. You knew you were going to show up. It's your first time in Boston since you've been traded. Why in God's name would you not want that to be celebrated? You don't have to play. There have been people throughout NBA history that have returned to a city for the first time and they were not able to play, but they still came out there to get a standing ovation and to be honored because people appreciated their years of service to the organization. You don't play them again until February 11th, but it won't be the first time. This is the first time the city and its fan base are going to see you since you returned. And for you to just shove that aside and to use the excuse of your family not being there, whatever. That's TV. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we can catch that. They're just going to show a little video of you and give you a standing ovation. That's what they're going to do, and that's something I think he should have allowed. That's just my personal.
Let's talk about first, should he play tonight? No, he shouldn't play tonight. And this, you're making the mistake, and so are you, that he usually makes, and many are apparently, of conflating, that means putting two things together and confusing them as the same thing. The commercial interests of the league on the one hand with the competitive interests of the league on the other. This happens a lot when we talk about Stephen A. sitting a player when he's on the road and you're only going to be in that town one time and you're saying, hey, these fans pay your salary, you got to play in that town. And my point is, but the competitive interests of the team are such that they don't want to play the second of back-to-back on the road with their aging star or whatever the case may be. Right now, what you're saying is for commercial interests, even competitive interests in terms of individuals' motivations to go against each other, for the fans, et cetera, he should play tonight. Molly, you're saying, look, if he could play last night, why not just hold him and play him tonight?
Because I think it's a bad look. Don't even have him play Tuesday then. Skip Tuesday and Wednesday if you're not ready to really go Wednesday the way you want to, because all eyes will be on you. I get that.
It's in the competitive interest of the team, apparently, Ty Lue believes, and I think with good reason, to hold Isaiah back here. He didn't play a ton of minutes last night. What did he play? 20 minutes? 17?
He played 19 minutes, had 17
He doesn't have to
points.
play a ton of minutes tonight.
Right, but the point is, it's the second of back-to-back. So he didn't even play 20 minutes last night, and now it's a second of back-to-back.
Well,
to appease the fans is not the reason to play. To give Stephen A. Smith what he wants in the one-on-one matchup, Isaiah Kyrie, and show everyone what that is not the reason to do it.
Right.
Ty Lue may not want to tip his hand to Boston, may not want to expose Isaiah if Kyrie has the upper hand in terms of health or any of those things.